There you go. You can sit on the other side. Nrsimha Jai Jai Nrsimha Dev Prathistha Jai Parma Mukta Pavanavendra Om Nam Nam Hamsam Nam Nam Nrsimha So we are very fortunate to be here in Sri Vrindavan Dham. In Krishna Balaram Goshala Yagashala. So where the worship is doing Krishna and Radhika Lord. Of course, picture is there in the Shikari also. And so we are standing here in Vrindavan Dham. Every day is auspicious, but today is known as Shaini Ekadashi. That one manifestation of the Lord is taking some rest for a few moments. That is known as Shaini Ekadashi. So it's lying down one side, and then after Shaish, and after 2 months, on Purnima Tithi of Bhadramas, is turning around onto the other side. And then on Kartik Mas, Uttana Ekadashi is there, that is Kartik Mas just before Purnima, when we perform also Vishnu Pancha. That particular form of the Lord Vishnu is getting up again. So some personalities during that time, some followers of the Vedic literatures, of the Vedic scriptures, so even some Vaishnavas, they may, during that time, they will not do the marriage ceremony, they will not do some of the rituals which may be done other times, because they say Vishnu is sleeping. So one manifestation is sleeping, that is true. But we understand that, for example, Krishna is always performing his pastimes for the spiritual world. And also, the other incarnations of the Lord in Vaikuntha, so they perform their pastimes in the spiritual world. And so similarly also in the Nrsimha in this world, of course there is one Vishnu Murti known as Nrsimha. So which is ultimately then of course we may understand the original source of the Nrsimha avatar, half man, half lion in this world, who has come, as we know, to protect his devotee Prahlad Maharaj. And then also of course to keep the demons, starting with Prahlad's father Hiranyakashipu. But then also even amongst the Vaishnavas, Nrsimha is very much respected because he's protecting the devotees. And not only that, from any danger in this world, because difficult situations are there. So even one time in America, actually, Prabhupada was there for one Ratha Yatra. I believe it was New York. And then there was some disturbance from black people. They were thinking what these people are doing here with this chariot, and sometimes with some different groups, there's some difficulty with each other. So these black people, they didn't like the devotees. So they were disturbing them. At that time, Prabhupada was chanting Namaste Nrsimhaya. And then he said we should chant every day in our temple this prayer to Nrsimha for protection. And so we do morning and evening since that time. And and we can see that in northern India, many places that are in the mountains, also Himalayas, of course they worship Lord Shiva, Mahadev, Durga Devi, but in many places they worship Lord Nrsimha also, to give protection from unwanted elements, people, or even animals. In the Himalayas, there are tigers and bears, And even in South India also there are many temples of Nrsimha. Actually most of the temples are there in South India. And also it's a place where Lord Nrsimha appeared. And so numerous temples are there in Nrsimha in South India. But even in other places in Bengal, so in the north, in the west, in the east, and in the south, even in central India, Bharatvarsha, Nrsimha is worshipped. Even amongst the Vaishnavas, so we know that even the original commentator on the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sridhar Swami, he was worshipping Nrsimha. And so even in Mayapur, Navadvip, of course in Mayapur now we also have Nrsimha in the temple, because a few times some people were attacking the devotees. And so there's a famous Nrsimha deity also there in Madhyadvip. Very ancient deity. It is even mentioned that actually Nrsimha had come here in South India. He came, Hiranyakashipu is mentioned, he came to Nrsimha Pali, that is in Navadvip, Madhyadvip, and there he was taking some rest also. So, and but also not only from external dangers he's protecting, but even we have actually also in the heart maybe so many impurities maybe there, and the Nrsimha he will cut these difficulties, or he will, when we pray to him, he can also smash our false ego, or he can also kill our unwanted desires which may be there in our heart. So therefore, as Guru Vaishnavas also, we highly respect the Nrsimha. At the same time, our Ishtadev in the Guru Vaishnava Sampradaya is Mahaprabhu, with Vikari Avatar, and then Sri Sri Gauritai. Mahaprabhu is Krishna, Radha Krishna himself. So he was showing how to worship Radha Krishna. But for protection, and in order to purify our heart, to destroy the unwanted desires and misconceptions, so Nrsimha may be worshipped. So I'm sure many devotees that some incidents in their life, many, even myself, or some people wanted to trouble us, and then we pray to Nrsimha and he's protecting. One time, long time ago, 14 years ago, I was in Jaipur, Rajasthan, where beautiful deities are there. Radha Govinda, Radha Gopinath, Radha Damodar, from our Sampradaya, Radha Vinod. So I was doing some preaching, some other devotees to life members and book distribution, making life members. But sometimes we were going alone. I was going one place, other devotees to other places. So I had one small attaché where I was keeping my valuables, the receipt books of money, and the form from life membership form. So I was in one area, there were not so many people. And then suddenly I noticed two people are following me and coming very close. And I was very much understanding that actually they had their eyes on my little suit, my little briefcase, and they saw a Western person, he must have many dollars money in that briefcase. And then they became very close, and I understood they want to actually take that briefcase from me. And nobody was around, but then immediately I called out to Nrsimha, Jai Nrsimha. And then Namaste Narachengaya, Pranadadadadaya, Hiranyakashi Purvaksha, Shilatankana Kanahaya, Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha, Yato Yatayam Tato Nrsimha, Bahir Nrsimha, Haridaya Nrsimha, Nrsimha Madhim Sharanam Prapadye. And then when I was chanting loudly, actually these two people, they were a little bit scared. What's going on here? Because I was chanting loudly. But still they were coming close to me again. But then, by Nrsimha's arrangement, just one auto rickshaw came with some people, and then suddenly they just turn away and run away. So I could understand that actually then. So the Sringadev is there to protect us. And we are sincerely calling out to him. So many devotees have many incidents of the Sringadev saving. So many incidents are there amongst the devotees. Yes, so we have to, of course he already has been worshipped to a little extent, but usually there's a ceremony known as Pran Prathistha, when the Sringadev will be fully manifested. So then one has to, of course, do the seva very nicely. So, yes, and sincerely. And so when the deities are not installed, as we know, Sringadev can manifest any time. Like he was in the pillar. I mean, he's everywhere, but he will manifest where the devotees are worshipping him. And his father asked him, so you say your Lord is everywhere? And he said, yes, he's everywhere. Also in the pillar? Yes, he will be there also. And he took his sword and he broke the pillar and then Sringadev appeared. So this way, so actually, so in the beginning stage, when we worship the Lord, maybe even when the deities are not manifest fully, but there's some reciprocation there. But when the deities are installed, they're fully manifest, and there's more reciprocation. Sunil. So, yes, and then what we actually have to understand that we have to be steady in our devotional service, and we have to remain enthusiastic despite all difficulties. Sometimes we see devotees when they start worshiping the deities, even they come on the altar, then they're very humble and almost scared, oh, the Lord is there, and have to be very careful. But then afterwards they become used to the seva, and then sometimes they become familiar, and sometimes then they become neglectful. So we have to remain enthusiastic, and we have to remain respectful, and try to avoid any offenses in the worship of the Lord. So, also an important point is, so that in the beginning, first always you have to worship Guru, and then Gauranga, and then you may worship Nrsimha. So that is the procedure. So when we do puja, first we do Guru puja, then Gauranga puja, and then Krishna, and then Nrsimha puja, or Jagannath puja, or Krishna puja, like that. That is the system. And the main worship, that is the bathing and the dressing. First we have to respect Guru Gauranga. But then when we do Artik, that is usually and we do puja sitting if possible. But Artik we do standing when we are standing. And when we do Artik, so we offer to the main deity, like here Nrsimha, and then we worship Maha, then we offer the Artik to Mahaprabhu, and then to the Spirit Master, that is the sister. But puja first Guru, then Gauranga, then Krishna puja. But Artik first our Ishtadev, and then we go down. First up and then down. But even when we do Artik, we first offer pranam to Guru Dev. Who is your Guru Maharaj?
His Holiness Gopal Krishna
Gopal Krishna Maharaj also. And yours?
Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj.
Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, okay. You have second initiation also?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Yes, so that we have to understand that, and then we should try to have a fixed program for the deities. And when you have deities, actually you should do the seva every day. Seva should be every day. Of course, we have to see, for example, the ladies, they have their 3 days. So if somebody else can do the puja, is fine. Or if not, then at least what you should do, maybe you may not bathe him, but at least you have to offer panchapachar. You will bathe every day?
No.
No, once in a week?
Once a week, yeah.
Okay, once a week, yes. So actually, when we do Pran Prathistha, so we should have a commitment, what I will do. So once a week you will bathe him, okay? Fine. And then you change the dress. Now one thing you have to do, puja you have to still do every day. You may do puja once a week, but you have to do puja every day. That is, you offer chandan, if possible, of course when it is cold you don't have to put chandan. But then flowers, in this order. Chandan, then flower, then incense, and then egg deep. The ghee lamp with one, ghee with. And then naivedya, bhoga. So that is known as puja. That should be done. And usually the puja is after Mangalati. First is Mangalati and then is the puja. And Mangalati you may do simple at home. And you may just sing the prayers as we chant, or you may just offer one incense. But the puja that you have to do every day, offering flowers and offering incense, ghee lamp, and then some bhoga. And usually at that time we offer fruits, dry fruits and nuts and sweets after the puja. So that you have to be aware. So when you have your 3 days, you may not need to bathe the deity, but you have to do the puja. Okay? Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And then after also, after the seva, you have to take forgiveness from the Lord. And there's a mantra also, if you can learn is fine, if not at least with your words. My dear Lord, if I committed any mistake, kindly forgive me for that. But there's a Sanskrit also, there's one verse, mantra hinam kriya hinam bhakti hinam janadana yat pujidam maidiva paripurnam samashtume. My dear Lord, Janardana, kindly accept whatever I offer to you. Even though mantra hinam, I didn't check the mantras properly, I don't know many mantras, but still accept my humble seva. And then kriya hinam, even I do it the seva, the kriya, but it's not perfect. So mistakes may be there, but kindly accept. And then bhakti hinam, also I don't have any love for you. There's so many material desires, but still whatever little love I have, I'm offering to you. So kindly accept that. So that should be done after every seva. And also night time, before taking rest, again we have to also done forgiveness from the Lord, from the holy names. And beg the Lord also forgiveness if we offended any Vaishnava or the Holy Dham. So that should be actually on a daily basis, that should be done. According to Sanat Goswami from Hari Bhakti Vilas, we have mentioned that. So, yes, a few points which you have to remember in regards to the service of the Lord. So, and then for example, sometimes devotees are going here and there for some business maybe or some family members are going to the holy place. But the seva is to go on. So we should bring the deities with us wherever we go. If possible, if not, we have to give to somebody and they should do the seva. And even, for example, sometimes in the family somebody is dying or somebody is born in the family, and the assault is there, contamination period. At that time we may not go to any other temple and we have to be a little reserved and we will not go necessarily to visit somebody. But the seva, even like we have to eat every day, so the seva has to be going on, but maybe in a simple way. But the seva should never be stopped. That is important also. That is important. Is that everything clear?
Yes,
Any
ma'am.
questions?
So in the night then?
Night?
Yeah, like how?
Yes, night you can do shine seva. So in this simple way, you can just by meditation, you can put the Shiva to rest. That is fine. The morning time, after you have gotten up, you're clean, you have taken bath and you're clean. Then you have to do Achman for purification, you know how to do Achman. And then you wake up. And then first you wake up Guru, then Gauranga, and then Nrsimha. Which Guru has to be there. We assisting Guru in the seva. Night time, first you put Nrsimha to the rest, then Mahaprabhu and then Gurudev, and then you can take rest. Okay? Any other question?
Sometimes flowers are not available.
Sometimes flowers are not there. Yes. University is a challenge. Sometimes no flowers. Yeah. If there are no flowers there, then you just you can by meditation. Because Manasi Seva is there also. With the mind you can do Seva. You can just, in meditation, you can just pick some nice flowers. And then you can just offer to Krishna Esa Pushpanjali. And then you offer with your heart and your love the flowers in meditation. And actually flowers, even if you have flowers, you can Pushpanjali, but you're not only offering flowers, but we should offer our love, our affection, so to the Lord, not just the flowers, but the bhav. Krishna is known as Bhava Grahi Janardhan. He's accepting our bhav. So you can do in meditation also, okay? But you should have enough incense. So you go back to America, right?
Yes.
So you should have enough incense, so that every day you can offer incense. And I'm sure you can buy in the West also incense. And ghee wicks, ghee lamp, egg leaf you have to offer every day. Okay? And some bhoga. Before you eat, you have to give something to the Lord to eat. Okay? Any other question? Do you have other deities also, or only Nrsimha?
I only have Nrsimha.
Only Nrsimha. Fine, good. Yes.
Yeah.
And you?
I have.
You have other deities?
God
Gorita. Okay, fine. Krishna is also. Jagannath Baladev is also. Okay. Okay. So you have your altar and you have your altar, or?
She's my mom. She lives in Pune.
Yeah, oh, okay, you live here, you're not living together.
No.
Okay, you live alone in, okay, fine, yeah. Okay, fine, no problem, yes. Any other question? So then I will chant some more mantras, just to, yes, invoke the blessings of Nrsimha, so he may fully manifest and he may then accept the seva also. And usually also when we offer, there's a also moon mantra for the deities. Like for Krishna is Krim Krishnaya Namaha, Pamapu is Krim Goraya Namaha. So for Nrsimha Devi is there also. So Nrsimha Devi alone is Shram Nrsimhaya Namaha. And then if you have Laxmi Devi is Ring Shram. And if Pran is there, then you have Pran. Or so you can just say Ring Shram Laxmi Nrsimhayam Namaha when you offer something called Boga. And then there's also Gayatri also which you may learn. The Nrsimha Gayatri if possible. But if not, no problem. Not a big issue. So, yes, some beautiful prayers are there. Of course, famous mantra, you know, Om Gram Viram Mahavishnu, Bhagwan Sarvatam Gram Vishnu Viram Vishnu Namami. That is known as the Nrsimha Mahamantra, this mantra. So we just recite some other prayers which are found in the very literatures, even in the Srimad Bhagavatam, verses are there. And of course, there are two Nrsimha Kavachas, which are well known amongst the Vaishnavas. So, I will be chanting one of them. So, some prayers by Sridhar Maharaj, the original commentator of the Bhagavatam. Pralada Ridalada, Pralada Ridaya Lada, Bhakta Vidya Vidaranam, Shadarindur Chimbande Parindra Vadanam Harim. So that is from his commentary on the first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, or the first canto, first chapter, first verse, which of course ultimately is indicating Param Satyam, Satyam Parantimai, meditating on our Ishtadev. For us it is mostly Krishna or Radha Krishna or even Mahaprabhu, but in case of one who is remembering Nrsimha, then that may apply also. So therefore, because he was his Ishtadev, Nrsimha, so he offered prayer. So in the commentary, Nrsimha. I offer my obeisances on the Lord Nrsimha, who is always enlightening Pran Maharaj within his heart and who always kills the nescience that attacks the devotees. So, Andhakar is there, or avidya is there, nescience is there, so Nrsimha will remove that, he will kill that also. And then, by doing that, then we may be able also to worship nicely Mahaprabhu or Radha Krishna. This mercy is distributed like moonshine. So in 3 days we'll have full moon, and the moonshine, especially in the summertime, is very pleasing. And then it gets a little cool when the full moon is there. And people, they do Govardhan Parikrama. If it is very hot, difficult to do Govardhan Parikrama during the day, they will do morning or in the evening or at night time when the full moon is there. And his face is like that of a lion. Let me offer my obeisances unto him again and again. Ugropi anugra evayam svabhaktanam nakeshari keshari vasapotanam anyanam udgavikramaham. That is also by Srila Maharaj in his commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam, one verse of the 7th canto where Nrsimha is indicated. All the very ferocious, the lioness is very nice, very kind to her cub. So we can see the cat or the lioness is taking the cup, the little baby in her mouth with her teeth, but very delicately, so the cub or the little cat is not harmed. So although ferocious to non-devotees like Hiranyakashipu, whereas the mouse, for example, the cat is catching the mouse also, but then is killing the mouse. Or the lioness also is killing some small animals like rabbits, or say even some deer with the same very strong teeth. But for her own cub and the little baby, she will be very careful. So Nrsimha is ferocious to demons like Hiranyakashipu and killing them, but very soft to his devotee like Pran Maharaj. Another verse in the commentary of the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, Bhagisha yasya bhajane Laxmi yasya chavakshasi yasaste hridaye samvit Nrsimha maham bhajem. Lord Nrsimha is always assisted by Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and he's always embracing to his chest the goddess of fortune. The Lord is always completely knowledge within himself. Let us offer our obeisances unto Nrsimha. One more verse by Srila Swami. Anta yanta sarulokasya jita shuddhayutya chaivam eva vasayam yasarvaya sarvasakir Nrsimha shimantam tam chetasavai valande. In my heart I picture of him who is glorified as the inner control of all the worlds, and whom the Vedas ascertain truth through logical reasoning. This is Nrsimha, the omniscient or omnipotent Lord of the goddess of fortune. So many verses are there, but we don't have so much time to recite all of them, otherwise we'll be there till the evening time. But so we'll try to keep it short. So there's a beautiful Laxmi Nrsimha Karuna Stotram. But there are many verses, so we will skip that. And of course we chanted, when Mahaprabhu went to South India, to the Nrsimha temples, he was chanting these mantras also, like Namaste Nrsimhaya. So the first part he was chanting, but then also is a famous second part, which we're chanting also, which is actually from Jayadev Goswami's Dashavatha Stotra, which is the introduction to his famous book Gita Govind, which is about Radha Krishna's pastimes. But in their introduction, as the Mangalacharan, he's reciting the Dashavatha Stotra, because not only Nrsimha but the other incarnations of the Lord, they're there to, they're actually controlling the planets. Like if one has Mangal Dosh, Mangal Graha. So then in order to, the smarter Brahmanas, they will worship Navagraha, the 9 planets. But we worship the Lord of the planets, So the Lord of Mangal, Gra, so that is Nrsimha. So if one has Mangal dosh, she can just worship Nrsimha and then it will be fine. So therefore in Orissa, the devotees, they are chanting every day the Dashavatha Stotram. And even we have some Oriya devotees on our altar, every day we chant Dashavatha Stotram. Just also for protection, to remove difficulties in our life. So Tava Kava Kamala Vadena Kamadhuta Singam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanavringam Keshavadrita Narahadi Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare. So, and that is one Nrsimha Ashtakam. Of course, like there is by tradition, like there is Gauranga Ashtakam, Krishna Ashtakam, Nityananda Ashtakam, Radhika Ashtakam. So, there is by the Acharyas. So they have composed many Ashtakam. There is Yamuna Ashtakam, Govardhan Ashtakam also. 8 verses in glorification of the Ishtadev. So there are 8 verses by one great Vaishnavacharya. His name was Paramahamsa Yarti Jiya from South India. So he composed the Nrsimha Ashtakam. And then there is one in the morning time, in South India especially, there is one Suprabhatam for auspiciousness while waking up. So as we know, in South India, that is by tradition, they will chant it in the morning when they're waking up the Lord. So there is also one Yoga Nrsimha, Suprabhatam. So by one Vaishnava, his name was Totai Acharya. And that they will chant for Nrsimha Dev in the morning time when they're waking up the Lord. So the first verse is Utishta Tishta Bhagavan, Utishta Narakeshari, Utishta Kamalana Bhatrai Lokyam Mangalam Kuru. So by tradition, beautiful way they waking up Guru, we chant the Sanskrit mantras, Utishta Tishta Siguru Tyaja Nidam Kripavoya, for Nityananda, for Mahaprabhu, for Krishna, Balaram, Radharani. So we chant these mantras. Wake up, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, wake up. Half man, half lion, wake up, O you whose name is like a lotus flower, and thus make 3 worlds auspicious. So very auspicious, and actually now since quite some time I went to the mountains, and I was hoping I will come back by the end of June, and the rain will be there. I came 5th of June, and practically no rain till now. But today I'm coming here and it started raining very nicely. So it is very auspicious and very nice. So we are doing the Abhishek, and the Lord is also already pleased and is also doing Abhishek. So showering His blessings, that you should understand. Of course, so many more verses are there. From the Bhagavatam, from the second canto, 1 verse is there. I will chant, famous one. Om Namo Bhagavate Nrsimhaya Namaste Jase Avirabhibhavam Vajanagavachadam Strakam Rasayam Vandaya Vande Tamagrasagras Om Swaham Abhayam Atmani Vuyishta Om Shraum. So this is a very famous verse. Translation now from our Basin says, to Lord Nrsimha, the source of all power, O my Lord, who possesses nails and teeth just like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demoniac desires for fruitive activity in the material world. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance, so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. Nrsimha Bhagavan Ki Jai. There's one Udvira Nrsimha Dhyan. So when Mahaprabhu and when Nrsimha appeared, he was Ugra, very angry, because Hiranyakashipu wanted to kill his devotee Pran. He became very angry and he killed. Although he got benediction from Brahma that you will not be killed, he was asking, so I don't want to be killed in the day, Tadastu. I don't want to be killed at night, Tadastu. I don't want to be killed by any weapon, tadastu, not by any man, tadastu, not by any animal, tadastu, not in a house, tadastu, not outside the house, not in any month, tadastu. Because he was doing tapasya, so he had to give some benediction. And then so done, but then he was praying to Krishna, my dear Lord is giving, he wants to become immortal and giving benediction, so what to do? But he knew also that Krishna will trick him. And so then when he killed him, it was not in the day and not in the night, it was Sandhya, which is not day and night, and sunset. And it was not inside the house and not outside, at the doorstep. It was not in the sky, not in the land, on the land. It was on the land of Nrsimha. He was not killed by any weapon, but by the nails. Not by any human or animal, but half man, half lion, Nrsimha. And then also not in any month. He was not killed in any month. But he was killed actually in Purushottam Mas. In Adhik Mas he was killed. But we do the Abhishek of Nrsimha every year in Vaishak Mas. Because you see that Purushottam Mas is coming always in between 1 month. Like when Nrsimha appeared, it was between the Vaishak Mas. And last time it was in Bhadra Mas. So between Janmashtami and Radhashtami, usually there's 2 weeks gap. But when the Purushottam Mas was there, it was 6 weeks. So the month Purushottam Mas is always in between 1 month. So this way he was not killed in Vaishak Mas, but he was in Purushottam Mas. But still, because it was during Vaishak Mas, in the between, so we, during the Vaishak Mas, in the Shukla Paksha, because he appeared before Purnima Tithi, Nrsimha appeared the day before Purnima Tithi, but in Purushottam Mas. So therefore, but we worship him every year, because we want to worship him every year, his appearance. Because in Purushottam Mas is not always in the same month. Sometimes Vaishak Mas, sometimes Bhadra Mas, sometimes Ashar Mas, sometimes Jesh Mas, like this. So when we want to worship him every day, his appearance, so we do at that time. So the Gyan is there, but usually Ugra Nrsimha is only worshipped by Brahmacharis. Ugra Nrsimha form or Ugra Shila. So for householders, usually we worship Laxmi Nrsimha. So and then in the Rig Veda, Sumatra is there. And one Mantra Shukta. And then this one Nrsimha Purana is there. Different Puranas are there. And one is known like we have Bhagavad Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam, there is Vayu Purana is there, Skanda Purana is there, Padma Purana is there, Shiv Purana is there, Devi Purana is there, so many Puranas. So one of them is also there in the Nrsimha Purana. And so there, actually in the Nrsimha Purana, the pranam is there for the Nrsimha. Namaste Nrsimhaya, which we chant every day. That is from Nrsimha Purana. And the second part, Tavakara Kamala Vale, that is from Jayadev Goswami's Gita Govind. And there is one Rina Mochana and Nrsimha Stotra. So when one has taken birth, one is actually, it is mentioned, one is obliged, one has a rin, one is indebted to the demigods, to the sages and to the forefathers. But if one is taking shelter of the Lord, and Nrsimha also, then one is not obliged, one is not indebted to the forefathers or the sages or demigods. And in one Purana, Vishnu Dharmottara Purana, there is one Nrsimha Stava, and we chant one verse from there, also famous. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Nrsimhaya Adhidevaya Sarvaloka Ya Narayanaya Nitya Sanihita Samprapya Shakti Balaveya Tejo Vibhavaya Maharajata Parvata Prakasha Vapuse Prikeshara Sattaya Vishwapadesha Primanata Tamra Ruchi Vispujita Prabha Hemavarnaya. Obeisances to Lord Nrsimha, the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead, supreme in all the worlds, is the resting place of all the living entities, eternally glorious with strength, power, heroism, and splendor, is brilliant like a great silver mountain, splendid with a great name, dazzling with a ruddy golden glory that fills the universe. So it is one famous book amongst the Vaishnavas, so which is known as Hari Bhakti Sudodaya. So in there the prayers of some great devotees like Pran Maharaj and Guru Maharaj, and also verses composed by Sanatana Goswamis. So that is also famous. And then there is the Nrsimha Kavacha from Brahmanda Purana that we will recite after the Abhishek. I will recite that also. And then there is one other Nrsimha Kavacha from one Brahma Samhita, not the Brahma Samhita which we know, but there is one other scripture also known as Brahma Samhita from the Vedic literatures, and there is one Nrsimha Kavacha there, which the Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada was giving to his sannyasi disciples when he sent them to the West for preaching. Before he sent Prabhupada, he had sent some disciples to England and to Germany, and they were doing some preaching, and also they were a little successful, but not as Prabhupada. They made some followers, but they were not so successful as Prabhupada. But in Germany they had some devotees, they made some devotees, and actually one of them, he later came to India and he took sannyas from Srila Prabhupada. And he's still alive now, I think he just left recently. So, but he was giving the devotees who are preaching in the West this Kavacha. And another famous verse, of course, by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is also found in the Madhya Lila. Sri Nrsimha Jai Nrsimha Jai Jai Nrsimha Dev Paladadesh Jai Padma Mukunda Bringa. All glories to Nrsimha Dev, all glories to Nrsimha Dev, who is the Lord of Pran Maharaj, and like a honeybee, is always engaged in beholding the lotus-like face of the goddess of fortune. So actually when Lord Ramachandra was visiting Ahobalam, he saw the Nrsimha Dev deeply, and actually he offered prayers to Nrsimha Dev, just to show the people in general that we should respect Nrsimha Dev. And there's one other famous verse by one of the acharyas. Om Namo Bhagavate Sriman Nrsimhaya Damstakara Varadanaya Godarupaya Vajanakaya Janamadine Mama Vijnana Pacha Pacha Mama Vayam Bindi Bindi Mama Shatru Mritravaya Mama Sarvaristam Prabhanjaya Prabhanjaya Chatta Chatta Hama Chindi Chindi Mama Sarvaristam Puraya Mam Raksha Raksha Hum Pat Swaha Om Am Ring Sham Om Pat Tataka Hataka Keshagra Jvarata Padukam Lochana Badri Badradika Natkaspasha Divya Sindham Namastudem. And there is one Nrsimha Dvarashnama Stotra, 12 names of the Nrsimha Dev. Pratamastu Madhvalo Dityastu Grateshari Tritya Krishna Pindaksha Chaturtastu Vidarana Panchasya Panchamaschaiva Shasta Kashi Kumardana Saptamo Datya Hantacha Astamadina Vallava Nava Pranadava Rado Dashamananta Hashtaka Eka Dashama Rodra Dvadasha Korananidhi. So here the 12 names are there. The greatly fiercely one. Second, angry just like a lion. Third, one with blackish brown eyes. So the eyes of the Nrsimha are blackish brown. So, for example, Krishna's eyes, what are the color of Krishna's, the inner part of Krishna's eyes? Who knows? Huh?
Red.
Red? Yeah, golden red. Why? Because he's always seeing Radharani. And Radharani's color? Inside blue. Why? Because she sees Shama Sundar. So then the fourth one who rips apart. So he ripped apart the chest of Nrsimha of Hiranyakashipu. One was 5 mouth. So the different manifestation of the Lord, in one manifestation he has 5 mouth. The killer of Hiranyakashipu, the killer of the demons, the beloved to those who are very fallen, Deenheen, like Dina Bandhu, Krishna is Dina Bandhu. So Nrsimha is also Dina Vallabha. Dina Bandhu is the friend of the beloved of the fallen conditioned souls. And then the 9 is the Varada, is giving benedictions to Prahlad. 10th name is one who has unlimited hands, Ananta Hastaka. So when he killed the many demons, when they came, after Nrsimha killed Hiranyakashipu and the others, they were there and they were fighting also. But then he manifested many hands and arms, and he killed so many, and then the rest of them just ran away. And so on, Mauraudra. So he's very terrible, very fierce. And then Karunanidhi is an ocean of mercy also. And then the 108 names of Nrsimha also, like the 108 names of Mahaprabhu, 108 names of Krishna, Radharani. So also the 108 names of Nrsimha, which in South India they will chant in front of the Nrsimha deities. And then Ahovala, the appearance place of Nrsimha. So this is Stotram also, Ahovala and Nrsimha Stotram. And there is 1 second Nrsimha Ashtakam. So Nrsimha Bhagavan ki Jai, Laxmi Nrsimha ki Jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai, Satchidananda Gaura Hari ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Sisi Radhika Keshav ki Jai, Sisi Krishna Balaram ki Jai, Sisi Gaunitai ki Jai, Hare Krishna. Okay, so now we are going to do the Abhishek. Okay, so at that time, so one of you can. We don't have katas anymore. You should get the Gyan and we should get the Ganga also actually. And keep it maybe here. So it is safe. So if you can maybe just